Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I'm sure you already know by the description, but today's video we're going to be talking about my vacation, where I went, what I did. I'm going to be inserting photos, videos, all the shit, because honestly, I didn't record anything. I'm going to be looking at my phone to remind myself of everywhere we went. We were gone for 17 days. It was a very long 17 days. It was fantastic though. We went to 4 different countries. So I guess we'll just get started. We started our trip with flying to Rome. We left on May 22nd. Started off our journey from leaving Washington, and then we flew to Rome. We did have a layover. That layover was like an hour and a half, I think, and then we flew to Rome. That flight was about 9 hours, I believe. It was pretty uneventful flight. I was super uncomfortable the whole time. I was barely able to sleep at all. It sucked. I was super frustrated because I wanted to sleep and I couldn't, because I knew I've been over to Europe before, so I knew that the time difference, it's rough. So I wanted to try and sleep so I would be okay by the time we got there, but that didn't happen. I really got no sleep at all. We landed in Rome. I think it was around like 12:30 in the afternoon, 12 or 1:30. We had our hotel pick us up from the airport, and then we went to our hotel, which I believe was like 40 minutes from the airport. I have never driven in Italy before. I've never been to Italy. This was my first time going to that country. The driving is fucking crazy. I don't know how there's not more accidents. It was wild. I was prepared for it. I knew it was going to be that bad because my friend who used to live there told me about it, so I was well prepared. My husband was not prepared and he was freaked out the entire drive, and I told him, I was like, it's fine. But there were like people walking like in traffic without looking, and like we were going like 40 miles an hour too, and I was just like, oh my god, I don't know how nobody died. It was a wild ride to the hotel. And then we got to the hotel. We ended up staying at the Best Western in Rome. I will insert what it is. I don't remember the exact name of it, but we did stay at that one. It was a 30-minute walk to the Colosseum from there. So if you're familiar with Rome, it was below everything. So you were going up, and then the Colosseum, and then everything else was above that. But the first day we were super tired. We really didn't do anything. We went out, we got some food, we went back to the hotel, we passed out. And then I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and couldn't go back to sleep. So that was rough the first day, but you know, jet lag, that's how it goes. So our second day there, we went out to the Colosseum. I had booked us tickets and we did walk there. So we walked there and then we went to Rome Forum and did all that. Familiar with what that is, or if you're not, it's where they had like their old city, pretty much like market. It's the first ever road is there. There was tons of buildings, there was tons of churches. We went in and saw all of that, and it was very pretty. And then I believe our tickets to go into the Colosseum were at 5:30. Now I didn't realize that the Colosseum closed at 6, and that when it closed, you had to leave. So the people that I bought, or the company that I bought the tickets from, informed me of that. So we went early so we could do the Rome Forum first, and then after that to the Colosseum, and were able to get everything done. We walked around the whole thing. We did the whole circle. It was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. It's huge, don't get me wrong, it's big, but it was way smaller than I assumed it was going to be. And we didn't do the underground stuff. We just did the upper, you know, we looked down and could see it, and it was extra money, and I didn't really want to spend it because this trip was already outrageously expensive, and I was like, I see it down there, I don't feel like I need to go to it. So then after that, we walked back to our hotel, which was another like 30-minute walk. I think we did like 15,000 steps that day, or close to it. And then we went out to this restaurant near our hotel. Now our hotel was kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't like a touristy spot. So we found a real authentic Italian place. I had carbonara. It was the best carbonara I've ever had in my life. The pasta was absolutely fucking amazing. I will go back to Italy just to eat the pasta. It was so good. I was blown away by it. It was absolutely amazing. So 10 out of 10. I love the pasta. If you're in Italy, go to this place. I will insert the name of it because I don't fucking remember, but go here. It was fantastic. I loved it. Can't recommend it more. We actually went there 2 nights. We were in Italy for 3 days, so we went there our third night as well because we loved it so much and we wanted to go back and eat more. And our third full day there, we did the Trevi Fountain, we did the Pantheon, we went to the Vatican, we went to this fountain thing. We ended up taking a Uber to the Trevi Fountain, which was, I think it was like 40 minutes. No, it was a 40-minute walk, but it was like a 15, 20-minute drive from our hotel there. So we did take an Uber there, and then from there we walked everywhere that we went. So we did pay to go into the Pantheon because why not? We've never been there before. It was really cool. I did not like being outside of it. There was a lot of people. It felt very sketchy. I had somebody like walk up behind me and like rub their hand down my back, and I was done after that. I was like, what the fuck was that? It wasn't like someone just, I accidentally walked by you, I bumped into you, because you know, we're pushing through people. I mean, the Trevi Fountain was packed with people. You had to like push your way in, and I think we got there at like 9 o'clock, 8:30. It was early. It was not like late when we got there too, but it was just creepy. I didn't like it. We got tickets, we went in. It was very beautiful inside. It was super cool. I really, really enjoyed it. And then we did have lunch near the Pantheon. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't horrible. I think I got a salad. My husband got a pizza. Pizza honestly was not that great. I feel like Domino's here was better. So, it was okay. And then after that, we walked to this like fountain area where we ran into a bunch of people trying to scam you, and that was annoying. And then we also went to the Spanish Steps. And then after that, we decided we were gonna walk to the Vatican. So we walked all the way to the Vatican, went through. We didn't actually go inside because the line was crazy long, but we walked around the outside. And then after that, we walked back to where they had their chariot races and what used to be, I don't know what you would call it, but like their arena where they would do their chariot races. Essentially, it was like a horse racing thing, like you would imagine. See today for horse racing, it was that type of thing, but it's just a giant field with nothing in it. Obviously, there'll be a picture that shows up. And then we walked back. That day we walked 17,000 steps. It was a crazy day. My legs were so sore and so tired. And then we went back to the hotel. We went out to our favorite Italian place. We had dinner, went back to the hotel, and went to sleep for the next day. The next day, on our 4th day, we booked a taxi and we took it out to the cruise port. I can't pronounce it. I'll insert the name here. And we embarked on our cruise that we went on. So we're on Odyssey of the Seas with Royal Caribbean, and it was the best. I had so much fun. I can't, like, I had so much fun. I've never been on a cruise before. This was my first cruise. My husband's never been on a cruise before. This was his first cruise. We're going on more cruises. We already have a cruise that we're gonna go on in 2025 that we're planning on doing. So we're gonna be cruise people now, I think. It was so much fun. So the first day was just embarking day. You know, we got on the ship, I believe at around 1:30. Went and did our muster thing like you're supposed to do. Went into our room. And then we like just wandered around the ship. It was fucking huge. I didn't get a ton of pictures on the ship. I will insert the ones that I did get. We did like put on our bathing suits and go out to the pool, went up on the top deck. It was lovely, sail away, so much fun. We did have a room with a balcony, which was really nice because we could sit outside if we wanted to. And then we started our Greek Isles cruise. So the first day was just a cruising day, so we were on the ship all day. I did book one specialty restaurant. We went out to Wonderland. Honestly, I wasn't super impressed. It wasn't that great. I don't know if I got any photos of the food, but I did get a picture of me in the chair that we were sitting in. I honestly was not that impressed with it. The presentation was really cool. It looked beautiful. The food was not that great. I don't think it was worth the money, personally. So after that, we did have one other reservation for a specialty restaurant, but other than that, we just ate in the Windjammer. If you're familiar with Royal Caribbean, that is their buffet style food. So honestly, we just ate there every time. It was 10 out of 10. We fucking loved it. And washy, if you've ever gone, you know. So our first stop that we had was Santorini, Greece. Now, honestly, I wanted to go to Santorini since I was, I don't even know, early 20s. So it was a dream come true to go there, and it did not disappoint. It lived up to all of my expectations. My expectations were up here, and it was up here. Like, it was fantastic. It was so beautiful. Now, if you are familiar with that in cruise ships, it's a tinder port. So essentially you just like drop anchor in the ocean, and then like a ferry type boat comes and gets you and then takes you back. So we were taken to Thera, and everything that I had seen, because I did a lot of research beforehand, was that where like the blue churches are, like the blue dome churches, those are all in Ia. So I saw the best way to do this was to do a water taxi. So we got there and we booked a water taxi. That took us from Thera to Ia, and while we were waiting to get there, so I think it was like a 15-20 minute ferry ride. We rode up top. It was a beautiful day, super sunny, super nice. Water was calm. We got to Ia. Turns out there was only one dock for everybody to like go and, you know, people to get on and off boats. We had to sit there and wait until it was our turn. Well, the water was, I wouldn't say it was rough, but we were doing this. Like, the water was doing this, okay? And there were people up there with us that started throwing up, and it was disgusting. And like, if I'm smelling puke, and I already don't, I get kind of seasick if water is really, really bad, especially I don't have air on me. But there's air because there's a breeze, but then I'm smelling puke and I'm just like, oh my God, don't throw up, don't throw up. And I'm like looking away, like trying to get fresh air in my face. It was miserable. Finally, we were able to get off the ship. And after that, we had to walk up a hill to a giant bus that took us probably like 3 minutes into town. So we just didn't have to keep walking up the hill, because if you're familiar with Santorini, it's on a hill. So like everything is up above, like it's cliffside up above. So we got on the bus, took the little bus, got to there. I went and did some souvenir shopping. I'm really into buying shot glasses. That's like my thing that I do when I go to places. I buy shot glasses from every place I've been or country I've been to. So went and got a shot glass, we wandered around, we got a gyro, we went and found the churches, we took pictures in front of them, we got delicious ice cream. You know, it was a very nice day. And then we went and got on the bus, because that was included in our ticket to, or that was included in our water taxi ticket, was a bus back to Thera. So then we took a bus back to Thera, and then after that we tried to find our restaurant, which was absolutely fucking difficult. We had to like ask people where it was. Google was not helping. Apple Maps was not helping. Like, couldn't find it at all. Finally, we found it. I booked us a lovely sunset dinner so we could sit and watch one of the most beautiful sunsets in the world. I Googled it. That's what Google says. It's #1 most beautiful sunset in the world. Sat and had dinner. I honestly don't remember what I ate. I know I had a salad. I don't remember what the other thing was. The food was amazing. I would go back there and eat. I just don't remember what it was. But I think it's because I was so amazed by the sunset. Like, it was the most amazing thing to sit there and like experience that sunset in real life and see it. And it was just, all my dreams came true. Like, I've always wanted to go to Santorini. It did not disappoint. After dinner, we had to be back on the ship by, I think it was 11. We had to be back on the ship and the ship leaves. Now, if you're familiar with cruises, if you don't make it, they go. It doesn't matter. So I'm like, oh my God, we got to get there. So there is a cable car that goes down back to the port. You can take the water taxi and, you know, go back. Well, of course, the line was like miles long. So we ended up riding donkeys down. It was not a fun experience. Now, I've been riding horses for 23 years. I did not have fun. It was not enjoyable. Like, the donkeys were tied to each other, of course, because people don't know how to ride, and so they're gonna need to be led and guided. And they're like walking up against each other, and they're like pushing you up against the rocks, and I'm like riding with my legs up here, which thank God I knew what I was doing, because I don't think normal people that aren't experienced could have done that. So that was not, it was an experience. We got the full Santorini experience, but would I ever ride a donkey again? Absolutely not, especially down a cliffside, steep cobblestone step thing. Like, absolutely not. Back to the ship, went to the Windjammer and had dinner again, because we, you know, more food, why not? And then I think we like did a couple shows. I think we did like a show almost every night. Royal Caribbean, slow clap to your shows. Fucking amazing. Every show we went to, we were so impressed with, except for the first one. The storyline was just fucking dumb, but it was beautiful to look at. Like, all of the graphics, like the lights and the just projections they had, so pretty. Like, they had an actual drone show inside the ship in the theater. Like, there were drones, and I was like, this is amazing. So we went and watched a show, I think, that night, and then we went back to bed. And then the next day was Ephesus, Turkey. Now, neither of us really wanted to go to Turkey. I've never heard anything great about Turkey. I've heard it's very sketchy there. If you live in Turkey, I'm sorry, but I haven't heard anything super great about it. So we got there. I think we docked pretty early in the morning. Neither of us are really excited about it. We didn't book any excursions or anything, so we're like, we'll just get off the ship whenever. Got off the ship and walked down to the little port area, and in this area essentially is just for people that are on cruise ships. There's tons of shops, lots of like tourist traps, that kind of thing. We did make it out of there, and instantly we were just bombarded by tons of people asking us to just like, are you hungry? Do you want to buy this? Like, it was essentially like Skyrim, if you played Skyrim, how if you're walking around a town, there's people that will just be like, sir, would you like to try this food? And madam, would you like to buy this ware? Like, it felt like that, but it was sketchy. We had someone follow us down an alleyway, and we were like, now we're done. So I think we maybe spent 20 minutes there. We got off the ship and we got right back on. Neither of us were really impressed with it. It was not that great. We spent the rest of the day on the ship, which was honestly fantastic because everybody was off the ship. So we had pretty much the whole ship to ourselves. There weren't that many people on. So it was a very quiet, it was a very nice day. And then I think we left at like 5 or 6 o'clock. And then we headed to Mykonos, Greece. So in Mykonos, I did book us a beach club, but sadly we didn't get to go to it because I didn't realize that it's extremely hard to get taxis or buses anywhere around there, and I was scared that we wouldn't make it back in time. So we ended up deciding not to go to the beach club. I didn't have to pay for it. It was literally just like putting in a reservation. So like I wasn't out money or anything, but we definitely want to go back to Santorini and Mykonos. We loved it so much. We want to go to other places in Greece. I loved Greece. The people were so nice. The food was absolutely amazing. If you've ever had a gyro before, you know they're so fucking good, and they're even better when they're actually in Greece. So we just like did a bunch of window shopping. I bought this purse right here, which is super cool. It's like a handmade purse. I will show you the purse. So this is the purse that I bought. This is the strap. It's all handmade. And the lady said that you can actually throw this whole thing in the wash. Don't worry about it. She says she's washed hers so many times. So it came with a strap, which you can take off. And then inside I bought 2 straps. So this is the second strap that I got because I wanted some color to go with it. And I love blue. Blue's my favorite color. This is a neutral. And inside it comes with a little pouch. The lady who was working there said that She would like put her makeup and stuff in this, so you don't have to worry about it like getting anywhere. And then inside, this is what it looks like. It's a pretty good size bag, and yeah, handmade. I mean, I think it's super, super cute. So this is the name of it, and maybe that's the style. I don't know. I don't think they have a website. If they do, I will link them, because the woman that I talked to who sold me the bag was so nice, and they had like all different sizes. Like this was there was one maybe smaller than this, but then there were a bunch of bigger size ones. But like I didn't really want like a big bag because I'm not like a big bag girl. This is it. I really like it. So I normally don't like buy big purchases. I think that this was like $300. So I normally don't buy like big stuff, but I was like, you know what? It has a fun little story to it, and you know, why not? And it's gorgeous. I love the color. I love the bag. I think it's fun. And it's something different that I have, and it has a fun story with it. So after we did window shopping, we bought a bunch of stuff. I mean, I got like this really cute white blanket for like beach days. It's like a beach blanket. And then I got my dad something. After we were done doing window shopping, we went back to the ship. We ate food. We went out to another show. And then the next day was just a sailing day. So we were on the ship all day. It was lazy, relaxing. We just went out to the pool. We laid around. We ate a bunch of food. It was a good day. We did have our second specialty restaurant that day, which was Zumi's. It was sushi. And honestly, again, I was not impressed. It was fine, but like the sushi where I live is better. So, you know, honestly, I don't know if I would pay to go to specialty restaurants again. Because I just wasn't super impressed with it. I thought that the food was better in the buffet and everywhere else on the ship than where we went. So, I mean, do what you want, but that was just my personal opinion. Maybe it was just those two places. I've heard Chops is really good, which is like their steakhouse. So maybe on the next ship we go on, we'll do that, but on our very last day, now this cruise was 7 days. So on this very last day of the cruise, we were in Naples, Italy, and we did book our one and only excursion that day. So we did an excursion that took us to the Amalfi Coast. Like I said, I've never been to Italy before. This was both of our first time going. Sadly, it was a gray and gloomy day. It did rain at one point, but other than that, it wasn't too bad. So the excursion took us to Sorrento. We went there. We got like limoncello. We tried all the lemon stuff. It was super cool. We got a bunch of lemon themed things. I really enjoyed that little town. And then we did get back on the bus, and then we went to, I believe it was pronounced Solero. I think that's what it was. We went to this other town, and then we got on a boat that took us down the Amalfi Coast and took us to Amalfi.
Between the ocean. On our right, we can see very well one of the watchtowers we were talking about in the little village of Cetara.
Which sadly, we were like scrapped for time. The bus didn't end up showing up when it was supposed to, so we only had 40 minutes in Amalfi, so it was like go, go, go. But Amalfi is very small. If you've been there before, you know. We went up to the church. I got like one of those lemon sorbet things. Absolutely amazing. It was way too sweet though, but it was fucking delicious. That was cool. And like they make it inside a lemon, or they put it inside a lemon, so that was cool. And then we went on the boat back, and then we got on the bus, and then we drove back to the cruise ship, and we were late by 30-40 minutes, but thankfully if you book anything with a cruise ship, they wait for you. So I think it was like 3 or 4 excursions that were all late, because we all ended up going to Amalfi. We had to wait for all the others to get there, so we ended up all being late. Then we got back to Rome. We got off the cruise ship. This was June 2nd at this point now, so we left on June 8th. We get off the ship, we take a bus to the train station. They didn't take us to the main train station, it was a different one. So then we took a taxi from that train station to the main train station, and then we waited for our train, which was of course delayed. So we were in the Rome train station for like 3 hours, I think, and it's cold because it's all open air and there's literally no fucking seating in there. This is my first time ever being on a train. So not really impressed. It was miserable, and after that point I was on a ton of trains and I hated it. It was not fun. First train, Milan, it took us to Brig, and after Brig it took us up to Zermatt, Switzerland. So we stayed in Zermatt for 3 days. We got there at like 10 o'clock at night, 10:30. We walked to our Airbnb, fell asleep. We woke up the next morning. I booked us an Airbnb with a view of the Matterhorn. We woke up, it was super cloudy, couldn't even see it. It was not a great view. We didn't really do anything that day. We just walked around the little town. We decided that we were going to go up to the Matterhorn the next day because it was supposed to be sunny and nice. So I booked all of those tickets and we just like had a really chill day, which was nice because the whole trip has been go, 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 go. Like we didn't have many days where we weren't doing anything except for the 2 days we were at sea. So it was nice to have another day where we got to sleep in, relax, we laid in bed, we watched a movie. It was very nice. We needed it. And then the next day, we got up, we walked to the gondola, and then we took the many gondolas up to the Matterhorn. So from the very bottom in Zermatt up to the Matterhorn, it was around an hour. We did have 3 gondolas that we had to switch off on. And the final one, like, it took you high up there. Like, you went straight at a mountain and then it went up. Like, it was wild. So it was like this. It was crazy experience. We got up there. The whole time I felt like I was gonna die. The air was so thin up there. I don't know how people were skiing and snowboarding and doing like activities because I would have felt like I was dying the whole time. I was dying and just standing there. So we walked around. Our ticket did include the ice cave. Maybe it was palace. I don't remember what it was called, but it included this ice room where they essentially dug a hole into the glacier and you go down there, and they had tons of like ice sculptures. They had an ice slide, so you could actually slide down this dark tunnel in the glacier. So that was super cool. Like, how many people can say they took a slide in a glacier? And then we did go up to the restaurant that's up there, and we got barely any food, and we spent like $100. So if you're familiar with Switzerland, it's very, very, very expensive there. So after that, we were there for a couple hours, and then we took the gondola back down. And we decided that we were going to walk the rest of the way instead of taking the final gondola all the way to the bottom to Zermatt. So it was about a 40 an hour walk down. It was really nice. It was all downhill. It was a nice paved road that we walked on. We got to see tons of beautiful views of the Matterhorn. It was so clear that day. You could see everything. It was gorgeous. We saw sheep and deer and all kinds of critters, all kinds of farm animals, and I think we saw a cow. Like, it was beautiful. And then we got back to town. We went to Airbnb, we laid down for a little bit and rested, and decided that we didn't want to go out to dinner because stuff was so expensive. We were going to get McDonald's, so we went to McDonald's, which was $40 for 2 meals. It was fucking crazy. And this is 40 Swiss dollars, which means it was like 44, 45 US dollars, which is just fucking wild because we literally got 2 meals. It wasn't anything crazy that we got. And then we walked back to our Airbnb and we ate dinner and we watched a movie, and then we went to sleep. And the next day we woke up and we had to be out of there by, I think it was 10 o'clock. So we left at 10, we went down, we sat at the train station for about an hour, and then we got on our next train to Lauterbern, Switzerland. Now, when I was looking up places to go, I was on the fence between going to Interlaken and Lauterbern. What I did was I went to TikTok and I said cool places in Switzerland, and Lauterbern showed up. Also, Interlaken showed up. I looked at both of them and I decided, my heart said go to Lauterbern. So I decided that we were gonna go to Lauterbern. Now, if you know where this is, it is a tiny, tiny little place. Now, hotels, there were few and far between, not that had good views, and I wanted to be there and like see the fucking view. So I decided that I was gonna book us this Airbnb that was literally $800 US for 1 night. one night. And I was on the fence about it, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if we should. And then as the time got closer to going there and that one day was still available, I was like, okay, it's a sign from the universe. I'm going to book it. You only live once. Fuck it. We've already spent an outrageous amount of money on this entire trip. Why not spend some more? I booked us this Airbnb. We got there, I think it was around like 12 o'clock, something like that. We had lunch because we couldn't get into our Airbnb until, I believe it was 3 o'clock. So we had lunch, beautiful views of the waterfalls. So this place is essentially in a valley with cliffs on both sides and waterfalls on both sides of said cliffs. And you are just, it was my favorite place that I have ever been, I think. It's like neck and neck with Iceland, and I love Iceland. But this, I want to be buried there. I just want to die there. Like, it was the prettiest place I've ever been. So finally we got into our Airbnb, which had the most amazing views, which is why I booked it, because you only live once. So let's just experience life and enjoy it. And then we walked to the waterfall that was there. We walked up and behind the waterfall, which was a really cool experience. And then we went back to the Airbnb. We were done at the waterfall. We did get shaved ice, and we got these like special waffles that were absolutely delicious. And then we went back to the Airbnb. We played some Uno because they had some games there, and I FaceTimed my mom, showed her the view. And then we decided that we were going to do a nighttime stroll because the Airbnb was right next to this walking trail. So we walked, and it was the most beautiful walk I've ever walked in my life. There was like this old farmer taking care of his cows, and I was like, you probably just lived here your whole life, and this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and you probably are just like, I see this every day. So it was super cool. I absolutely loved it there. If you're in Switzerland, I highly recommend going. It was amazing. I can't say enough good things about it. The next day we woke up and our view from our bedroom was the main waterfall, and there was a beautiful rainbow in front of the waterfall. It was absolutely gorgeous. So we sadly packed up, went to the train station, waited around for about an hour, maybe a little bit more, took a train to Zurich, which we were going to then fly home from. Didn't really do anything in Zurich. The train was like, I think it was a 3-hour train ride. We did so many different transfers. That final train ride, we literally had to stand the whole time because we couldn't find any seating, and it was just miserable. We got there. It was a 40-minute walk from the train station to the hotel. It was miserable. We were on cobblestones. We were pulling and pushing all our bags. It was horrible. My husband's such a trooper, and he pushed and carried and it all because I was just dying. We did a lot of walking, guys, on this trip, and I was done. And we've been gone for 16 days at this point, so I was tired. We got to our hotel, and then we cleaned up, laid down for just a second, and then we got up and we went out to dinner. We ate dinner at the first place we could find. I got a pizza. It was okay. It was all right. And then we went back to the hotel, we laid around, we were watching a movie, and then we decided that we were hungry, so then we went to McDonald's again, because we were all about McDonald's when we were there. Got McDonald's, and then we walked back to our hotel, and then the next morning we took an Uber to the airport and we flew home. A layover in Philadelphia and found out that our plane was delayed even more. The layover was going to be 4 hours, 5 hours, and then our plane leaving Switzerland was delayed because there was a medical emergency on it. So we ended up leaving like 40 minutes late, and I was like, perfect, we're gonna get there and we'll have less time there and we can, we can get home sooner. Well, then our plane was delayed 2 hours. So we ended up being there for 6 hours in the Philadelphia airport, and I hated every single fucking second of it. It was miserable. I just wanted to go home. I was so tired, I just wanted to go home. Finally, we got home around, I don't even know, I think we got home at like midnight, 1 o'clock, something like that. It was fine because we were jet lagged anyway, and it worked out. But it was the most amazing vacation I've been on in a very long time. The last international trip I did was Fiji. I mean, we go to Cancun all the time, so I don't count that. We went to Cancun last summer, like right before we bought our house. And then before that, we went to Fiji. So this was an amazing trip. I've always wanted to go to Greece. I've always wanted to go to Switzerland. I've always wanted to go to Rome. I checked all three off my bucket list. It was an amazing trip. I'm so grateful to be able to have this opportunity, to be able to go and do these things. I know so many people don't really get to travel and do all that, so I feel very grateful that I'm able to experience the world and do this. And I hold it very near and dear to my heart. I love traveling. I would rather travel than like save money and buy stupid shit. Like, I would rather travel than like just sit at home and not do anything. And that's just my mindset, and that's fine. But yeah, that was a fantastic vacation. I'm so excited for our next trip that we're going to be going on. It's going to be next year. We have some other trips we're thinking about doing, but this is going to be a big trip. This is going to be a huge, like, more than what we did. Well, more days. It's going to be like 20 something days we're going to be gone doing this trip. So I'm super excited about it. I'm pretty sure we're going to do it and we're going to book it, and you know, that'll be happening in 2025. So something to look forward to. But thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's really long. I'm looking right now at the timer. Obviously, I'm going to edit this, but we're pushing an hour, so I know it's going to be a long video. Thank you for sticking through the whole thing. If you did, please comment so I know you guys watched the whole thing. Comment, bratwursts in Switzerland are awesome, because they are. If you haven't had one, you should go have one because they're great. So thank you again for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.